Hey, fifth grade. Today, for our poetry analysis, we're going to be looking at three different poems. All of these were student written poems, and it will actually be the last poem that we read in the grouping that revolve around the theme of metaphors. So as we've been reading through these poems, we've looked at personification, we've looked at metaphors, we've looked at extended metaphors, and I've asked you to go in and mark and look for different things. So today is the last of these poems. Zephyr, an eighth grade poet, invented a new kind of poetic device, which he named a decoded metaphor. He was playing around with metaphor in a poem about ice skating, alternating, in parentheses, with a metaphoric version of the same event. Read along with me. All right, guys, so we're going to click over here and we're going to read How Can I Describe first. How can I describe? The ice, black glass, is covered in snow, thick styrofoam, and I can't see a thing. I'm in a void. Because of the mist, my cocoon, I skate along, float, with my family above the crowd, thinking, not thinking at all. Okay, so instead of actually using metaphors in his poem, he drafted his literal language here, and then in parentheses, he created a metaphor for what he just talked about. So the black glass is the metaphor, or the decoded metaphor, for the ice that he's skating on. Okay? When he talks about the ice being covered in snow, he creates a decoded metaphor in parentheses here for the ice being covered in snow, thick styrofoam. So he is, in a sense, creating a different type of figurative language or figurative device, but he still wants his readers to have these images in their mind. Well, this caught on in his class. Decoded metaphors caught on in Zephyr's class. When he shared this poem, they all loved the idea and wanted to play around with that in their own writing. So Nat used his version of this technique to describe a soccer team or a soccer game, and Phelan applied it to the effects of spring weather here in job description. You'll see that they didn't follow the exact same pattern as Zephyr, because he wrote the literal language first, and then he put his metaphors in parentheses. You'll see in Nat's, he actually wrote the poem using metaphors, but then he describes his metaphor. He tells us the literal translation in parentheses, okay? And then you'll see the same thing in Phelan's as well. So she kind of, they reversed what Zephyr had done. She writes using metaphors, and then she puts the literal language in parentheses. Okay? So follow along with me as I read these two poems. The Skirmish. I stride onto the field prepared for battle, the game. A warrior with an army, team, behind me. The ambassadors, refs, check the generals, who are the goalies, and the skirmish play begins. The opposing army makes the initial charge, kick, but we counterattack, steal the ball. Our archers, defense, put momentum, the ball, in the hands of our knights, the offense. We conquer their territory, and suddenly there's nothing between me and their general. I gallop past him. Now, he doesn't have parentheses here, but do we need it? Who do you guys think the general is? Probably their forward. I gallop, sprint past him, and capture the castle. Score. I have drawn first blood. Or perhaps, maybe the general wasn't their forward. Maybe the general was their goalie. And he's not in the way, and so he shoots and he scores. I think you can see how the poem worked, though. You had lots of metaphors, and then in parentheses was the literal translation of those metaphors. Let's take a look at job description. Spring delivers the luscious lollipops, blazing colors of flowers. Spring showers chitter chat on branches, birds and pines, birches, poplars. Poplars is a type of tree. Spring shines sugar cake, warmth from the sun on everyone. All right. So I think you get what a decoded metaphor is. It's pretty obvious in the way that they demonstrate it and they wrote their poems. What I want you to do today is to go back into either the skirmish or job description, and I want you to mark your 3 favorite decodings. So, like if the part that you liked the best was this part, oops, didn't mean to do that. This part where he sees that there's nothing between him and their general, and he sprints past him. You would highlight that by selecting the text, and then you would just go over here and add your comment, and you would say, I really like this decoding because. Okay, so I wrote, I really like this decoding because it helps me to visualize how he scores and how it must feel like he has helped his team in battle. Okay, and then I would hit the comment button, and there it is over here on the side. So I'm looking for 3 of these. You can go into just the skirmish if you want and add 3 comments to that one, or you can go into just the job description and add 3 comments there, or you can go into both of these and create a total of 3 comments. But I'm looking for 3 comments on your favorite decodings, and I want you to give me an explanation for why you like it. So be specific, just like my comment was. Let me know if you have any questions or if you need help with anything. Love and miss you guys. Go ahead and turn that in when you're finished. I'll see you soon.